Mario's many sports outings contain a fair number of excellent games, but Mario Strikers Charged manages to stand out from the rest of these titles thanks to its unique style. This Wii game doubles down on the aggressive energy of its GameCube predecessor, supercharging soccer into an over-the-top arcade experience. Its legacy holds strong to this day, as the Switch follow-up Mario Strikers Battle League lacks content and iconically poor sportsmanship from Daisy compared to the series' peak, but still maintains solid gameplay. Following up the 3DS game Super Mario 3D Land, the Wii U title Super Mario 3D World stuck to the same path in translating the type of level design and platforming that 2D Mario games traditionally exhibited to a similarly streamlined 3D space. For fans of Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, this approach may feel restrictive, but precise design and responsive controls make the game a consistent joy. The Switch release saw the addition of a more open experience in Bowser's Fury, which makes up for its short length with a storm of creativity. Super Mario Maker could have been a fairly minor entry in the Mario series, tasking players with the creation of their own levels rather than assembling a full suite of tightly designed stages, but a robust arsenal of easy-to-use tools let players create some real magic. Super Mario Maker 2 improves on the first title, losing out on the convenience of the Wii U gamepad for stylus usage, but gaining even more features and possibilities. Players might have to sift through both brutally difficult levels and cakewalks to find ones with the perfect balance, but there's enough creativity on display to easily make up for it. New Super Mario Bros. Marked a major return to 2D for Mario, revitalizing the style of the original games for a new generation. Launching a series of its own, the first new Super Mario Bros. Remains the tightest and freshest of the bunch. Platformers are certainly Mario's bread and butter, and new Super Mario Bros. Made for a perfect modernization of the classic formula. It had plenty of content spanning 80 levels, facelifting platforming traditions while staying true to what made it so successful in console generations prior. It didn't reinvent the wheel, but it did set it rolling again. Arguably the most popular of the Super Mario spin-off games, the Mario Kart series has earned its own legacy as one of Nintendo's strongest franchises. The GameCube entry, Double Dash, makes for one of the best Mario games on the GameCube, and one of the best titles in the series. Two of the biggest strengths Double Dash had were in the gameplay and graphical departments. The jump from the Nintendo 64 to GameCube was a great one for 3D graphics, with the mix-up in gameplay style when having two players to a kart proving exhilarating. A large roster of playable characters and karts also expanded upon previous Mario Kart outings to thrilling results. Super Paper Mario represented a radical divergence from prior Paper Mario games, a decision that courted controversy thanks to the acclaim that its predecessor, The Thousand-Year Door, received. In its own right, Super Paper Mario is a great game that leans more into classic Mario platforming, while retaining a focus on narrative and a smattering of RPG elements. The gimmick of switching between 2D and 3D is well employed, and the game's unique characters like the villain Count Bleck offer exciting flavor that fits seamlessly into the Mario world. The DS presented a huge opportunity for the Mario Kart series, with graphical capabilities that could bring a proper 3D experience to a portable system. Mario Kart DS made full use of these possibilities, offering up a dynamic assortment of excellent tracks and tight driving mechanics that rivaled home console entries. DS Download Play allowed for multiplayer with a single game kart, and challenging single-player missions ensured that players could get a robust experience from the game even without taking on other players. It says a lot about a gaming franchise's revered legacy when one of its most divisive entries still achieves critical acclaim with relative ease. Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube was one of the plumber's most creative adventures in the overall franchise. Gameplay involves Mario using the FLUDD water jetpack to propel him through the air and allow players to execute some inventive platforming maneuvers, as well as puzzle solving. The controls can take some getting used to, especially compared to the straightforward precision of other Mario titles, but mastering movement leads to a deeply rewarding experience. The first Paper Mario game introduced players to a goofy, charming take on role-playing games, an approach that Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door expanded on to enormous success. Combat enhancements hook players into an engaging, robust story that takes classic Mario characters on a journey unlike any other Mario game. Later games in the franchise moved away some of the extensive RPG features of this title. Because of this, The Thousand-Year Door remains an unmatched complete package for many players, and fans are still asking for a Switch port of The Thousand-Year Door. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is essentially the remastered and expanded version of the original Wii U release of the game, and it's become the most refined entry in the hit spin-off series to date. The game was overall well received for its polished kart racing gameplay, as well as the fantastic and grandiose presentation thanks to the graphics and soundtrack. Deluxe managed to enhance that experience into the critical acclaim territory, as it received an even better coat of visual paint, boosted performance, and substantive gameplay in the form of DLC. Although many of the titles in the series could be valid favorites, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe represents many of the franchise's highest peaks. The original Super Mario Galaxy was a marvel of gravity-bending platforming, cementing itself as one of the most memorable games for the Nintendo Wii. The game made another creative twist to the series' platforming conventions, using its galactic setting to provide players with some refreshing gameplay mechanics involving the world's gravity. The story's premise and setting also allowed for some ingenious level designs that made the game's invigorating experience consistent. Just as well, Super Mario Galaxy featured one of the franchise's most jaw-dropping orchestral scores. Super Mario Odyssey was a game with a huge legacy to live up to, promising a return to the more open stages of Super Mario 64 or Sunshine after the focused level design of Galaxy 2 and 3D World. Fortunately for fans, the best Super Mario Switch game managed to stick the landing and then some. Odyssey's secret ingredient comes in the form of Cappy, which allows players to possess environmental objects and enemies to unique results. Using Cappy to augment Mario's jumps also makes for the plumber's best movement update in years. Many within the fanbase hold firm in their opinion that the Super Mario Galaxy games are the best the franchise has to offer, or at the very least, stand among its highest tier. Super Mario Galaxy 2 accomplished a rare feat for a game in measuring up to its emphatically acclaimed predecessor. The Nintendo Wii game was lauded for making meaningful tweaks to an already inventive gameplay formula and improvements to its technical performance over the original. Galaxy 2 is missing from the 3D All-Stars collection on the Switch, but it's worth returning to the Wii for the constant imagination and joy that make every moment of the game sparkle. There have been many video games in the history of the medium overall that helped revolutionize it. These games were not only critically acclaimed, but they're also still looked back on as gaming milestones both in and out of their respective genres. Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64 was one such title, a triumph and testament to how ambitious games can get. The game leapt seamlessly into the 3D era, with dynamic environments, controls, and serving as the new standard for platformers. Every 3D Mario game since Super Mario 64 owes its DNA to this groundbreaking game, and its mastery holds up to this day as the greatest Mario game. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your suggestions and criticisms in the comment for the rapid improvement and development of this channel, because only your satisfaction is important to me.